Hello, everyone. It is Friday, March 22nd. This is Liam McMahon with your daily moving average video, weekly wrap up. It is about an hour and 15 minutes until the U.S. equity markets close, another hour after that until the Forex markets close. But barring any sort of major news out of Cyprus before that time, we've likely seen what we're going to see for this week. It is possible that we may see a euro spike or drop going into the weekend, but it's not really going to change what I'm looking for. So I'm going to do the video now and run through a couple setups that we're looking for next week. In terms of news, obviously Cyprus continues to dominate. Um, the bank levy apparently is back on the table, so the bill that the parliament rejected earlier this week maybe passed today. We'll see what changes there are. I find it hard to believe that they will pass the exact same bill that they rejected on Tuesday, if only because it's political suicide. I would expect that they managed to get some sort of garbage concessions from the EU so they can claim it's a different plan, even if it doesn't really change anything. But we'll see what the details of that come down to. We'll see if they can get the vote done. The deadline is Monday. The ECB will cut off funding on Monday, and Cyprus will go into default. So we'll see how that plays out. The UK was put on downgrade notice or downgrade watch by Fitch earlier this afternoon. Pound dropped briefly before everyone remembered that we know this, and it's almost inevitable at this point that we're going to see more downgrades of Great Britain, and it really doesn't matter at all. So we'll see how that plays out going forward, whether or not we actually get that downgrade going forward. All right, so that's basically the news. So let's move to the charts, run through some setups. Before we get there, please take a moment, pause the recording, read the risk disclaimer. Should now be on your screen. And then we'll get to those charts. All right. So I had a couple requests today. Going to run through the requests first. First up, requests for pound Aussie. This is a 4-hour chart of pound Aussie. The pound has been pretty strong. If we click over pound dollar real quick, you can see we've rallied pretty impressively today. Pound Aussie has remained range bound, however. I will be going into next week looking for a break of this range. Something roughly like that. Soft preference to the upside. I do like the pound higher a lot more than I like the Aussie higher, so I will be looking for breaks to the upside. But I would also trade a downside breakout. If the pound wants to continue its weakness, that's fine by me. I'll be happy to play it through pound Aussie. So we'll look for a clear of this range, and then if we're going higher, a clear of this trend line will be necessary as well. You can see these are the 4-hour moving averages, the dashed lines, 50, 100, 200. 50, 100, 200 daily moving averages, all layered, bearish configuration, all layered on top of pound Aussie. And this is the daily cloud, still way above where we're trading now. So pound Aussie has a lot of work to do. But this is a pair that can squeeze and squeeze quickly. If we start to see a little bit of upside momentum in the pound, if we see the upside momentum in the pound continue, or really more likely if we start to see an Aussie sell-off next week. Another Aussie pair I had requested, Ozzy Kiwi. This is again a 4-hour chart. Ozzy Kiwi trading now just shy of its 38.2% fib. I would watch this level for a reaction as it's right near this daily cloud. The major area to keep an eye on here for Ozzy Kiwi on the downside is this moving average confluence. We have the 50-day EMA and the 200-period EMA on the 4-hour chart. More long-term, however, Ozzy Kiwi right now is kind of not my favorite pair. We're still holding this trend line. We'll see. That's really capping upside momentum. We have this nice channel. So we very well could be falling down to 121 now to test the bottom of this channel again. But you do want to keep an eye out for the fib and cloud support that falls somewhere here in the middle around 124 on Ozzy Kiwi. Not very clean trading in my opinion on Ozzy Kiwi. The entry short was up here. The entry long is down here, or even better yet, down here. So we'll keep an eye on some shorter term charts and see if anything pans out. Dollar yen also had a request for dollar yen. Finishing off the week fairly weak. Um, See, this is our gap down to start the week. We rallied back up. Really couldn't breach 96. We've fallen back down, trading around 94.40 currently. I would be keeping an eye here on this level here, just above 94. I would expect that if we get below 94, we could see a move lower down towards 92 in the top of this cloud. We'll see how that all works out going forward. But it is very possible. Again, it's always a possibility, and we have quite a ways to go before we do it. That the dollar yen is putting in a head and shoulders. We have about 2/3 of the pattern completed, so we would need a drop, then some more consolidation before an eventual move back down towards, probably really 87.50 to 85 would be the area that we'd be looking at to start resuming this massive trend higher. Those numbers not picked out of the air. You can see here 87 basically is the 50% fib, and 85 basically is the 618% fib. So those are the major levels to keep an eye on if we start to see the yen sell off. Lots of fundamental pressures going on in the yen pairs. We may not be able to see that sort of sustained dip as the BOJ cranks up the printing presses, so to speak. But it is a possibility that we'll be keeping an eye on going forward. Aussie CAD. God, this pair has just been atrocious lately. Unless you're long, just willing to ignore it, that's been terrific for you. But in terms of offering nice setups, it's been respecting this trend line very well, but moving kind of sideways. I was hoping that we were still maybe putting in some sort of ascending wedge. You got this big spike higher as the Aussie rallied, and CAD has just been weak so far. But we really need to get below here to start any sort of downside momentum. This is the 50 EMA here on the 4-hour chart. It's trading right now at 106.30. So clear this trend line, clear this moving average, and then we can start to get some dips. Buying levels, 105.50 would be a buying level. I'm not a huge fan of getting long this pair up here. That's just me. I'd rather wait for a direction change or buy a pullback. We are nearing these recent all-time highs here, 108 basically, so you want to keep your eye on that as well. Should we continue to wedge up towards there, that would be the area to start looking for a potential reversal. So that's Aussie CAD, and that was another request. The pairs I'm very interested in this upcoming week are the Euro pairs. We're trading right at this trend line now. You can see the market rejected that and the 100-hour EMA on the 4-hour chart. That's not what I want to do. So we'll see if we can get a move above here, possibly a gap above here on some sort of positive Cyprus news. We drop to fill the gap and retest the trend line, then we rally up to about 133. I think that is a distinct possibility for next week. I would be keeping an eye on that altogether. On the other hand, should the euro be bad news, look for it to get below these recent lows at 128.46. On the other hand, another attractive setup is Euro CAD. Same idea. As we're trading just above this trend line right now, so look how that goes forward next week. You can see we're in a pretty significant uptrend here on Euro CAD, so this could be our consolidation sideways to work off some of this rally before we burst higher again up to around, really we could get as high as like 145. So significant upside remains in Euro CAD so long as we continue to hold above this 100-day EMA and if we can clear some of this moving average and cloud resistance that's currently sitting above the market. So lots of opportunities in the market next week, especially in euro pairs, really in either direction. But keep your eye on the pound and keep your eye on Aussie dollar as well, as we've cleared this daily cloud and appear to be flagging. So lots of things to keep an eye on for next week. Should be a good week. Hopefully we'll get some of this chaos out of the way and have a nice trading week. So enjoy your weekend, everyone.